Sparrows, Chapter 20.
It's been a year since the first we said goodbye. The second time.
5. For once in my life, I don't want to kill something. Yes, you heard that right. Once. If I hadn't met YN, I'd probably be cooking up a plan to assassinate Luther in his sleep for being such a big jerk all of the time, or blowing something up, or blowing Luther up and blaming it on the coffee machine. But I'm not going to do that, because I actually respect my girlfriend's wishes, and she told me that killing people for fun was not a good thing to do. I'll be back in 5 minutes, I said, giving her a smirk. She said she hated it when I smirked, but it was clear she really didn't. Every time I did, she turned her head away so I wouldn't see the rosiness of her cheeks. I always did. Clenching my hands into fists, I propelled myself through the space into a familiar office space. It was Dad's room. Everything looked the exact same. All the books in the right places, all the pens and pencils stacked neatly into the jar, and the blinds at a horizontal angle. But there was something different. A red leather book was lying on the desk, the familiar symbol embossed onto the front. It was the book YN told me not to read the last time we were in here. "It's not important," she said. "Forget about it." I trusted her, so I turned my head away and began to scour through the rest of the books. She said it for a reason, so it had to be unimportant. She wouldn't lie to me, would she? I found the thin address book tucked away in one of the desk cabinets, and I flipped through it to find the exact party. Dad's handwriting was messy, which I found surprising, so it took me a while to read out the address. "Oh," I said, shutting the book. "Got it." Shoving it back into the desk, I clenched my fist and prepared to jump again. "It's not important." Hesitating, my eyes glanced back to the book. "Forget about it." She didn't have to know I looked at it. "Not important." It looked important to me. "Forget." Only one tiny look wouldn't hurt. Unclenching my fist, I stalked back toward the desk and gently picked the book up. It looked familiar to the one from my world, where Dad would keep his mission notes. And maybe that's what this was. Grazing my fingers along the edges, I gently opened the cover to see inside. Sparrow Academy, it read. The worn-out symbol of a sharp bird decorated along the page. Interesting. The first page had a picture of a short girl, whose eyes were narrowed at the floor as the photo was taken. Next to it was a column of stats and notes, all scribbled in pen. The book was a journal about the Sparrows. Everything about them. Their height, hair color, names, and powers. Carla was the first girl. Her power was to will anyone to do anything. It reminded me of Allison, but Carla's were able to work without the help of a roomer. She apparently was smarter than Allison. The next person was Ben. His powers were the same, but his stats were better. Then was someone with super strength, like Luther, but he was stronger. Then, someone who could fly. A floating green cube and YN. Before reading down the page, I hesitated, staring at her blurry photo. She looked young in the picture, more tired, more angry, and less herself. Was I doing the right thing? She didn't tell me about her powers for a reason, and apparently there was an incident that put her into that coma. That wasn't unimportant. It was something I could just forget about. So she won't know what she doesn't find out. YN Hargreeves, the journal read. Powers. The ability to make anyone fall in love with her. I dropped the book, my eyes widening. So that's what her powers were. There was more to the report, some random scribbles about her behavior, but I didn't have a chance to read it. I was too in shock. In her room, she told me I worded me, and I told her I had the same feelings, that we were the same, and that we shared some kind of bond. But those weren't my real feelings, were they? This whole time, she accused me of using her, but really, she was the one using me the whole time. Okay, so I have to admit, that is not where I thought the story was going. I thought, because it kept saying, this person is stronger, than the original. For example, Allison and Clara, Luther, and that the other person. I thought it was going to be like, oh, YN has the same powers as Vive, and she's stronger. And for some reason, that put her in a damn coma. I don't know. But that was definitely not where I was going with this, or where I thought the story was going. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments below. I hope you have an amazing evening, an amazing afternoon, an amazing morning, whenever you are, and I will see you guys tomorrow with chapter 21.
Yes, I'll be content if that's all we have. If that's all we have.
Thank you for listening. I appreciate it. Please stay tuned for the next video I post.
I was listening to the